New Year's is a time when people look back at the year that was and maybe say, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. And that apparently includes President Biden when it comes to the election. He is telling aides he still believes he should have stayed in the race and could have won the election. NewsNation's Kelly Meyer is live for us in Washington. Kelly, what is prompting this lament from the president?
Yeah, a source telling NewsNation today, Nichole, that President Biden has told some aides recently that he believes he should have stayed in the presidential race and could have defeated Donald Trump, even with his now infamous debate performance and low poll numbers. This is something also shared by some of his closest aides, we're told. His belief that he could beat Donald Trump is what fueled him to run a second time, even though he promised to only serve one term and pass the baton to a new generation. It also comes as the Democratic Party is still licking its wounds over the results of the 2024 election. Some saying President Biden should have dropped out sooner to give his vice president more time. Then, with Democrats' pressure for him to bow out, he passed that baton to her in August, and she eventually lost to Trump months later. But according to Biden and his aides, he has been careful not to place the blame on Harris or her campaign. So now Biden is focusing on his last remaining days in office, 20 days left as of today, with some major legacy decisions he has to make by the time he leaves office, like on the Nippon Steel deal, potentially more grants of clemency, and on menthol cigarettes, as well as his priorities abroad. He'll have now also the funeral of former President Jimmy Carter to attend next week. Then he is squeezing in one more foreign trip to meet with the Pope before he leaves office. And when he returns, he'll have about a week left here in the White House. And interesting to note, too, Nichole, is that this time last year, President Biden was on St. Croix and asked about his New Year's resolution. And he says it was to come back next year, whether that meant the islands or to the White House. It's unclear, but notable that he said that as well, Nichole.
Very notable. Also notable, Kelly, the incoming Trump administration apparently telling cabinet nominees to avoid social media until they are confirmed. We all know that the president-elect loves social media. He is on it essentially every day, sometimes multiple times. Do we know why he is telling his nominees to stay off?
Yeah, and they're trying to say, just let the president speak. Don't try to speak for the president. He'll say what he wants to say on social media. For the rest, stay off of it. And he had another warning today, actually, on True Social, speaking of him posting, that Senate Democrats, he says, are plotting to delay confirmations of his cabinet nominees. He shared this on True Social this morning, saying in part, quote, Senate Democrats are organizing to improperly stall and delay the confirmation process of many of our great nominees. They will try all sorts of tricks starting very soon. Republicans must not allow them to do that, he ends. And this comes as Team Trump is ordering all intended nominees to stop posting on social media ahead of Senate confirmations. President-elect Trump's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, shared a message on Sunday, and in a memo obtained by the New York Post, Wiles says in part, quote, all intended nominees should refrain from any public social media posts without prior approval from the incoming White House counsel. Now, Mick Mulvaney, a NewsNation contributor and former White House chief of staff himself, posted this on X, saying that this is simply good practice. We were chatting this morning, and he told me that he was once nominated in 2016, and he was told to keep his head down and keep quiet and get confirmed. He says he didn't even vote on the floor, even though he was still a member of Congress. But he says that it was his advice from his own team, not the Trump team at that time. Now, confirmation hearings are set to begin next week, Nichole.
All right, already happening next week. Kelly Meyer live in Washington. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.